Hello, this is a 1994 E320. It has approximately 71,000 miles on it. We're the second owner of this car, and I've kept it up in pretty good shape, except that now the outside temperature gauge, as you can probably see, it's acting up. Sometimes, like there it is, it's flickering back and forth. Sometimes it's blank. Sometimes it displays it correctly, sometimes it's a partial display, like right now it's completely gone. So my son and I are going to attempt to repair that. The first thing that we got to do is, according to the Mercedes instructions, is to loosen up, or actually unclip, the speedometer cable, which is located behind the brake and the accelerator pedals. And then we're going to remove the instrument cluster using a special tool, and then the module itself is attached to the instrument cluster. And let's take a look at some of the materials that we're going to use for this job. Prior to starting this job, I downloaded the instructions. Say removing and installing instrument cluster for a W126, but it also works for a W124 chassis. I also purchased a replacement gauge, which I did bench test, and it fires up fine. That was 20 bucks on eBay. And I also purchased this Mercedes instrument cluster puller. I think it was 2 pieces for 20 bucks as well. And so those are the basic tools that you're going to need for the install. I wanted to show you also, as part of the instructions there, you will need to remove, actually to unclip, the speedometer cable, which is right here. There's a little clip there. So we're just going to move the speedometer cable this way so that we can pull the instrument cluster out. They also say that you have to move the steering wheel all the way towards you, so you have plenty of clearance here to move the instrument cluster and work on it. So let's get started. Okay, so you put the tool right in here, you put it flat like this, okay, and then you turn it 90 degrees, and you should be able to feel it grab, okay, and then it's just a matter of, you have to put some strength there, and it pulls it right out, just like so. And here it is. So now we're going to have to reach in and disconnect the speedometer cable first, and then there's a couple of harnesses back here, and the cluster should come right out. Okay, so here's the instrument cluster. I had to disconnect 2 main cables. Okay, one of them was this big plug right here that goes right here, and the other one is the speedometer cable back here, and that basically brings up the instrument cluster up here. Now I'm going to disconnect all the additional wires and bring this out to the bench. Here's the harness for the outside, the temperature gauge right here, and there's a whole bunch of lights for the check engine light and some of the other warning lights. I'm going to disconnect those guys and pull it out on the bench. Okay, so we've removed the instrument cluster, and my son is in the process of removing 2 Phillips head screwdrivers to take out the outside temperature gauge. And you will notice that right here along this edge of the instrument cluster there's a bunch of ridges, and that's where your tool goes and hooks on, so that you can pull the cluster out. Okay, so here's the bad unit, and we just install the replacement one, and now we just have to reverse our process to put the instrument cluster back on. You should also think about if any of the light bulbs on the instrument cluster were out. Now would be a good time to replace them. Okay, that's done. Let's put it back in. Yeah, so here it is. The instrument cluster is pretty much connected except for the speedometer cable and the one big plug on the left hand side. So prior to fully inserting and connecting those two cables, we're gonna check out the gauge, make sure that it works, and sure enough it does. There it is, plus 54 degrees Fahrenheit. So now we can connect the speedometer cable and the harness and push it back in, and job done. Okay, so I just took the car for a spin. All the gauges work correctly. The outside temperature gauge is reading correctly. Don't forget to connect clip the speedometer cable down there, which it is now. And that's it. Job's done.